afternoon, everyone. My name is Swedha, and I welcome you to a session which promises to be a lot of fun. How many of us can even imagine a day without music? Nobody, right? For a lot of us, including me, music is the constant soundtrack to our lives. But did you know that music serves a bigger purpose than just entertaining us? The music aficionado I am going to be chatting with now will talk about music and its role in overall development. A pop star, MTV artist, FL Studio power user, and founder of Musicology, which is an internationally acclaimed school of music running since 2003 that even conducted a music workshop yesterday, which some of you may have attended. This gentleman is someone who truly lives, breathes, and eats music. Released by major record labels, including Universal Music, his songs have received heavy airplay on TV and won numerous awards. He has trained thousands of students in various disciplines, including professional singing, music performance, music production, and songwriting. And today, sharing his knowledge with us is none other than Mr. Anurag Dixit. Hi, Anurag. How are you doing today?
Hi, Swada. Thank you. I'm doing great. And thanks for all the kind words.
Well, we all love music because it entertains us. I'm sure you would agree with that. But today we're going to
Sure.
talk about its other benefits as well. So tell me, Anurag, how would you define music beyond just entertainment?
Swada, I would like to say that, beyond just entertainment, music is more entertainment, even more entertainment. It's even more exciting because, you know, uh, when you play or perform music on autopilot, when you are not aware about the gifts it provides, when you don't know the tools, then it's not that exciting. So if you know the tricks, if you know the know-hows of music, how music works, then it becomes even more exciting. So music is actually a language through which we all communicate, and I would say it's the best form of expression. Yes, and it communicates to us in a lot of different ways. So some of you might have observed that some song, some kind of music connects you immediately. So that way, it's even more exciting because it talks to you, it talks to your heart. And so that's how music is even more exciting.
I think everybody who's listening to you right now would definitely agree with that. Music is a language. Anurag, you have a whole lot of legacy behind you. Tell us, how did you start your journey in music? Were you always drawn to it from a young age?
Yeah, I was always drawn to music right from when I was 5 or 6. But I didn't know that music was my call. So, but one day, when I saw some Western musicians and I attended a concert and I got to know that they wrote and composed their own music. And this was something which was very exciting for me because in Bollywood, I saw how music is made because somebody else writes the lyrics, somebody else sings it, and somebody else composes the music. So it's like a teamwork. But if you write music on your own, if you compose it and you perform it, that gives you, another kind of thrill. So that's how I got into music. And then I knew that this is the thing, this is my call. So that's how I started writing songs and making music.
So we can say that you are a one-man show for sure.
Yeah, you can say that.
Lovely.
And
So, Anurag, research, says that music has tremendous benefits, both physical
yeah.
and mental. And I'm sure you have had your own experiences with it. Could you talk to us about some of those benefits?
Yeah, there are, many benefits which people are not aware of. And first thing, but there are, of course, certain myths about music because sometimes people think that only listening to music or playing music superficially, it's good, it's useful. But I would say, if you learn and if you perform music properly, so that is what makes all the difference. So if you know the tricks, if you know the tools how music works, So for example, I told you music is a language. So how music communicates, if you ask people, they won't be able to answer. Normal people, they won't be able to answer. So how the scales work in music, how the intervals work, how the progressions work, these are all, technical know-hows which are important. So if you learn music properly and if you perform music properly, then of course it's very useful in your overall development, not only as a musician but also as an individual. So because music hits you in so many ways positively.
I think that's the next whole level that you're talking about. But personally, for me, like I don't know how to, either make music or, play any instrument. And I'm a horrible singer. But after a really long day at work, one thing that completely de-stresses me is, listening to just my favorite, playlists and, coming
Yeah,
back to the songs that always, calm me. So, and
yes,
I'm sure, a lot of us have had doctors telling us that, you should listen to some nice, soothing music, to just relax
yeah,
yourself, to, just
yeah.
de-stress yourself. So, what do you think about, these healing properties of music?
Absolutely. Because, let me give you an example. In 1977, a band called Bee Gees, they released their album Saturday Night Fever. So it became the world's biggest selling album, the first biggest selling album of all time. And all the major hits, they were composed at the tempo of 120 beats per minute. That was tempo is the speed of the song. So, and you'd be surprised to know that the tempo of our heartbeat, the speed of our heartbeat, is same when we are excited. So when people hear that kind of music, they automatically get into that kind of zone, that kind of vibe. And that was the single most reason, why these songs became so popular and became the world's biggest. And the producers, they knew the secret. So they intentionally set the tempo at the same, speed. So much later, they revealed the secret. And then today, if you know all the dance music and EDM music, all the music making machines and softwares, they are set by default at 120 to 130. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
how, so these are the secrets which the musicians use. So there are scales that, they can make you happy. There are scales that can make you sad, and they can even there are mysterious sounding or horror sounding scales, the intervals. So it depends. Like I said, if you know the secrets, then of course you can use them to your advantage, and it's
So
not
that
that
means
difficult.
it's
Yeah,
completely scientific, basically.
yeah, you can say it's scientific and it's mathematical also, because it's pretty much logical. So there's a lot of logic. Music challenges your logical abilities, your logical skills to a very high degree. So and
Wow.
that's why if you learn it properly, then it's very good for your overall development.
My goodness, like there's so much knowledge and something that we have just not heard about till now. Great, thank you very much. So,
Yes, it's
Anurag,
very exciting.
yeah, there's a lot that one can
Right.
truly absorb from here. Anurag, like when I was back in school, like when I was studying for my 10th boards, I still remember I used to have a favorite song, that I would just put in
Yeah.
the background, to kind of pump me up and, just get me through those long hours of studies. And my parents would
Right.
never understand. They would be like, why do you need music along with studies? They could not
Yeah.
understand what my favorite song back then did to me and to my studies. But
Yeah.
recently, I read an article, which actually spoke about the immense benefits, like increased
Yeah.
focus and concentration if you have music in the background while studying. So, can you tell everyone here who's listening to you right now how music actually aids learning?
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for sharing your story, because so it's a great insight. And but it depends. For some people, any type of music is good while they are studying or doing any other work. But let me tell you that if you want to use music, as a booster for your studies or work, then any music which doesn't have the lyrics. So you should use instrumental music, because that is proven. to help you concentrate. And why? Because that type of music that affects your subconscious mind. So it affects you
Okay.
at the subconscious level, and a part of your brain is always busy. So sometimes it channelizes this part, sometimes it engages that part. So in turn, you tend to focus more on your main work, like be it study or work. So if you are listening to any kind of instrumental music while studying, it definitely helps, and it's a scientific fact which is proven.
I think a lot of kids listening to that would be very happy, and that's a
Yeah,
very amazing advice, for all the
yes,
parents also.
we
And
have given them an excuse to to play
to sing
music
music also,
while
right?
yes, studying. Yes.
Yes, but from our experience, we can tell you it really helps. I did get very good
Yeah.
marks in 10th standard. So
Oh,
this
yes.
is
Okay, that's
completely
great.
back, yeah, backed with
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
I actually want to, talk to you about, how music education is not given that kind of importance in schools. We still see drama coming and, leaving an impact in students and other extracurricular activities. But music
Hmm.
being such an essential part of our lives, in schools,
Yes.
it's not given its due importance and respect. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but nothing is being given that much importance in the schools. So that, but that was a joke. So of course, of course it's very important. If you ask anyone, they would tell you that music education is very important. And maybe the
Yeah.
problem is that schools are busy doing the academics, and they've got a lot on their hands. So that's why, but of course, systematic and regular music education should be provided to all the students, and it will work wonders.
Yeah, even I feel, music and academics in tandem can go a really, really long way. So,
True, true.
Anurag, education and music both have, three steps in common, which is,
Yes,
learning, practicing, and testing, right? Being a
true.
music teacher yourself, could you tell us about how crucial these three steps are?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good question because sometimes people focus more on the learning and practicing part. So the testing part is also very important. And when it comes to music, testing means, performing before the audience or taking the exams or, recording your songs and sharing it on social platforms. So many students, like even at our school, musicology, I see that many students, they learn music, but they don't share it, and they don't, record their music, and then they don't perform much before the audience. So this
Hmm.
is also very important. Your point is very good. So I think anyone who is learning music, they should go out and perform it and share it with. And these days, you have very effective tools, social media,
Yeah.
YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. So you should go and post more of your creative stuff.
In fact, I was going to ask you, that was going to be my next question. We
Yeah.
have social media platforms now to, really aid, all our
Yeah.
interests. So, how do you think the younger generation can actually utilize the social media for their own craft?
Yes, actually, they should understand, how to smartly use the social media.
Yeah.
So because it's a double-edged sword. So you can maybe, you can either, waste a lot of time on social media, or you can, take a lot of advantage from the social media. So I think the today's youth is more aware, and they are smart. So they should use it to their advantage, and you should strike a balance between your studies and, internet and other things. So absolutely. So time management is the key.
I think along with that, exactly, just to second what you said right now,
Yeah.
consistency is also a very big factor because I feel like a lot of students might be, motivated for a very short period of time to take up music, to learn
Yes.
it, and to master it, but they kind of give up on the way if they don't see results coming in. Even
Yeah.
on social media, for example, if they are posting content and they would just give up midway. So
Yeah.
what we like to talk about consistency over here.
Yes, that's a very important thing. Of course, I've seen many students who start off quite well, and then they make music, but then after some time they give up. So yes, consistency is very important. Persistence is very important, and I would suggest you should read the biographies or stories about the successful musicians, and then you'll get to know that how sometimes people think that okay, they will post a video on social media, it will become viral, and they will become a star overnight. So it doesn't work like that. So you have to do a lot of hard work, be it music or be it acting or any other area, just like the IITs and IIMs. So just like the academics. So the consistency and persistence are very important, and you have to work hard. The only thing is, if you love your art, if you love this craft, then of course you won't feel like working all the time. So of course this is very important.
I think that's a very useful tip that you just shared with all of us. I also feel that, it's very difficult to balance studies, because we know how much pressure is there on students these days to, to be able to perform well in their studies. So, between
Right.
studies and music, somewhere or the other, in the conflict, music, gets defeated. And, because there is so much that the students need to do besides,
Yeah.
just their music
Yeah.
also. So you have been a student yourself. How did you
Yeah.
back then balance your hobbies and your passion?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, because when I was a teenager, of course, music was my priority, but I balanced the studies and music both. And so you should do the same. And of course, you should set your priorities. If studies or academics is your first priority, of course, giving music to 1 hour or 2 hours is enough. And so when music becomes your priority, of course, then you can increase your hours that you devote to music. And I would say the most important thing is to stick around long enough. That's the key, because sometimes people think that they have to work hard every day and practice every day. So that's not the case. So even if you skip your practice for 2 or 3 days, you should keep coming back to it. That's the key. So that is very important, even for your studies, because sometimes everyone cannot be, you can't achieve perfection in anything. So don't expect too much from yourself. Don't think that, oh, okay, I'll practice every day, I'll study every day. Just keep coming back to it. That's the most important thing.
Great point.
Yeah.
Basically, never give up and, continue coming
Yeah.
back no matter what.
Yes. That's very
All right.
important.
So, Anurag, you also brought in, education in music with your school yourself, when you
Yeah.
started musicology back in 2003. It must have been
Right.
really satisfying, imparting your knowledge to students and seeing them succeed. Do you want to share with us some special memories, stories back then when you started? Any experience?
Yeah, it's been a great journey so far. I'm really proud of all the students, and many of my students, they are working with the industry, be it the industry abroad. Like one of my students, he's working with Coldplay. He's in the crew of
Wow.
Coldplay, and then many other students are working in the Mumbai film industry and with top production houses and all. So some of them have made bands. So there have been many success stories. But I'm equally proud of those, who were not that good, but they made it in music. Like I remember one student who was not good at studies and not even music, but one day I talked to him and I kind of tried to inspire him, and then he did quite well in music and he topped the international exam in music. And after that, this behavior translated into his studies as well. So
Wow.
after ultimately he became really good at academics, and now he cracked one of the most prestigious IIMs, and now he's a very successful individual. So there have been many such stories, not just one. So that's how music, affects you in many different ways.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You must be such a proud teacher.
Absolutely.
Lovely. You know, Anurag, in India, a lot of people still think that music isn't a viable career option. A lot of it
Right.
has definitely gotten better over the years, but
Yeah.
what is advice that you would like to give to a young student, who's thinking of taking up music as a career, whether as a teacher or as a musician? What would you like to say to them?
Yeah, absolutely. There is an immense scope in music and entertainment industry because of the technological advancement. The only problem is, like, people say that there is no scope in music, and that's not the truth. Because the problem is that I told you earlier also, because people think that music is like we post a video on YouTube and we become a star overnight. That's not going to happen, and that's why there is no scope if you think it in that direction. So but the thing is, music industry is just like cracking IIT or IIMs or IAS. You need to you know um, um, make plans and work towards your goal, and you should train yourself properly, and guidance is also very important. So you should seek a mentor who has already done all that in music and who can guide you on the right path. And so if you have the right strategy, if you work hard towards your goal, it's very easy. So whether you want to become a singer or you want to become a producer, recording engineer, so there are many careers. You can become a
Yeah.
singer, you can form a band, and you can do technical stuff like production, recording, engineering. So there are so many things, but the right approach is very important. You should train yourself just like you train yourself for IITs or IAS. So similar
I think that's
approach
a
should
great
be
advice,
followed.
and training and having a mentor to show you the way
Yeah,
will really uh, you know
then it becomes
improve
really
your
easy. Yeah.
success.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will become definitely very easy. Any advice that you would like to give to all the parents who are watching, to how to make music a part of their kids' daily lives?
Yeah, absolutely. Because as you know, I've been teaching students since 2003, so it's been a long journey, and we have touched the lives of thousands of students, and I've seen thousands of lives being changed because of music, just because of music. So make sure, to the parents, I would like to say that make sure you make music a regular part of your kids' life, and provide them systematic music education for a prolonged period of time. So I would like to quote the most famous brain scientist, and he is John Medina. So John Medina has said that if you send your kids to a good music school for 5 to 7 years, you will see them ending up in the best universities and colleges around the world. So this is what this brain scientist, who has the reputation of being the most reputed brain scientist, he has said it in his book. So
Wow.
that's how important music is.
That is amazing. And the very fact that, this is backed by such a big fact, it's incredible. I'm sure the parents are
Absolutely
also feeling very motivated hearing you speak.
true. So
So, Anurag, I actually wanted to ask you another question. When
sure.
you started out, as a musician, I'm sure the challenges must be very different to what they are today. What is the difference that you see in the industry, from back then?
Yeah, the biggest change is the technological advancement. And I would like to, sum it up in just one sentence, because in my days when I started, uh, you know, the technological advancement in 21st century, it has bridged the gap between dreaming and making it coming true. Because earlier you could only dream, so only 1 or 2% were successful. These days, if you can dream it, you can achieve it, because you have the technology, you have social media, and you have so much at your fingertips. So that's the only difference. So you can actually make all your dreams come true if you are serious.
Well, sky is the limit for sure.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Anurag. Thank you very, very much
Thank
for
you.
taking time out to be with us at Extra Marks
Thank you so
Weekender. I'm
much.
sure this session was extremely helpful, not only for students, but also for parents and educators. I had a great, great time talking to you.
I absolutely loved it. And thank you, Swetha, and thank you, Extra Marks, for providing this great platform for all of us to share our thoughts. And I'm sure the students will benefit a lot from this platform. Thank you so much.